Hello everyone, long time no see. I hope you are doing well. Welcome to this video. I am Ming, and today I will introduce a highly acclaimed work to you. It has a great reputation in China, and it's a treasure of Chinese animation with a high rating of 9 points. If you don't like it after watching, you can come and hit me. Even Jesus can't stop you, I guarantee you. Without further ado, let's delve into the world of comics. In the Eastern world, the conflict between those seeking immortality and undead creatures has been ongoing since ancient times, seemingly without end. Then the Sanzhen sect appeared. 3 disciples from different timelines, guided by the treasure of the Sanzhen sect, the Sanzhen lunar token, simultaneously eliminated the source of these undead creatures, a monster that transcends time and space. The Eternity Necromancer. However, the Sanzhen sect was almost destroyed in the history. One day in 1854 AD, the contemporary leader of the Sanzhen sect was telling his disciples about the past glory of the sect while taking out an ancient turtle shell with the emblem of the Sanzhen sect engraved on it. This is the most valuable treasure of the Sanzhen sect, the Sanzhen lunar token. Disciples were instantly attracted to it. But in the next second, the leader's head was suddenly beheaded. The disciples were all stunned. After a few seconds, all people stared at the killer in horror. It was a Nirvana zombie wearing armor, who was now holding the leader's head and drinking his blood like a watermelon. There is an old saying in China, a forcibly twisted melon is not sweet. However, it seems that at least it is quenching one's thirsty now. Generally speaking, the leader of a sect is usually the most powerful person. Now the sect leader is being killed off so easily, like cutting a watermelon. The fate of the remaining disciples can be imagined. In the end, only the youngest disciple of Sanzhen sect, Ma Chao, escaped with the Sanzhen lunar token under the protection of his senior brothers and sisters. Time flies. 50 years later, in 1906 AD, the youngest disciple, Ma Chao, had become the 217th generation leader of the Sanzhen sect. Of course he was. At this moment, he was taking his third disciple, Gao Haoguang, out for some experience. While they were talking on the roof, a withered corpse hand emerged from a nearby cemetery. It was a grotesque zombie, hiding there during the daytime and crawling out at night to hunt people from nearby villages. Gao Haoguang was not afraid. He looked at the zombie, which was quickly moving by hopping, and took out a talisman. His eyes narrowed, and the talisman in his hand began to burn, transforming into a golden sword that he used to stamp towards the zombie. But strangely enough, the golden sword dissipated in the air before touching the zombie. Upon seeing this, Gao Haoguang couldn't help complaining in his heart. The things told by this old man are really unreliable. Ma Chao seems to know what Gao Haoguang thought. He suddenly lifted his leg and stomped on the zombie's face, then took out a talisman from his sleeve and flung it out casually. The talisman burned fiercely in the air, and the next second, a large gold ingot appeared above the zombie's head. With a clunking sound, the ingot fell, and a burst of golden light radiated out. At the time the golden light dissipated, the zombie had already turned into powder like flour. After this, the old man stood with his hands behind his back, like a grandmaster. His eyes seemed to say that he was invisible in the world. Gao Haoguang was already accustomed to this. Although his master was usually unrefined, he was quite strong once he got serious. Gao Haoguang asked himself, the power of the talisman his master had refined is so strong. What kind of monster was it that caused the destruction of the Sanzhen sect then? On their way back, Gao Haoguang expressed his thoughts to Ma Chao. He wondered how the master's master, who should have been even stronger, could have been wiped out by such a creature. But as soon as this matter was mentioned, Ma Chao inwardly sighed and showed sadness on his face. He explained that there are many types of Nirvana zombies. The one they had just encountered was an ordinary zombie, created from the corpse of an ordinary person after death for some reason. Besides being strong and fast, it didn't have much intelligence and was easy to deal with. However, the one they had encountered 50 years ago was created from the corpse of someone who had magical powers when they were alive. It not only had intelligence that was not inferior to humans and a body as strong as steel, but also had elusive supernatural powers and spells that even the abilities of Ma Chao and his master at that time couldn't deal with. After escaping, Ma Chao continued to practice in the secret third palace of the Sanzhen sect and adopted 3 disciples. Gao Haoguang was the most special because he was chosen by the Sanzhen lunar token. Now, this teenager was meditating with his eyes closed. in front of Ma Chao and picked up a talisman. He then chanted a spell with both hands. The next moment, the talisman turned into a flame in his hand. However, it lasted only for a moment before the flame dissipated and the talisman in his hand turned into dust. Ma Chao said, "You foolish boy, I've already told you that only the talisman you make yourself can unleash their full power. You have no chance with the ones I've made. Young man, you still need to practice." Gan Haoguang looked angry. He had been lured into Sanzhen sect by this unreliable old man since he was 8 years old. Not only had he not learned any skills that could help him make a living, but he had also learned a lot of useless and strange things. As he walked, the two returned to the Sanzhen sect's third palace, but the entire palace was eerily silent. Ma Chao and Gan Haoguang realized that something was amiss and hurriedly searched for their fellow apprentices in the palace, but they saw a despair scene in the hall. Their fellow apprentices had been seized by a Nirvana corpse wearing armor, the same zombie that had nearly wiped out the Sanzhen sect years ago. Alright, that's it for today. To find out what happens next, please watch the next video. Have a great day and don't forget to drink hot water. See you next time. Bye bye bye.